Okay, scholars, so if you watched the last video, we went through two practice problems from the Scholar work packet. Now we're going to be going over some homework questions that you already did. But if you got them wrong, I'm glad you're watching this video to learn where we went wrong, where we fell short. So Samuel earns a weekly allowance if he completes at least 8 hours of chores a week. So he has to reach 8 hours. That's his goal. On Tuesday, he completed 2 1/4 hours of chores. On Wednesday, he completed an additional 3.5 hours of chores. How many more hours of chores would Samuel have to complete in order to earn his allowance? So his goal is to get to 8. So 2 1/4 plus 3.5 plus what equals 8? So we are going to add 2 1/4 and 3.5 and subtract it from 8. So let's rewrite all of that. Let's move everything so we can get to work. Okay, so when we are adding mixed numbers, we can focus on the whole number. We can add those first and then focus on the fractions. So one at a time. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Now I'm doing 1/4 plus 1/2 equals what? Well, if I had a pie chart and it was in 4, and you told me first 1/4, do that, and then 1/2, do that. That'd be 1, 2, 3 out of 4. 3/4. But let's say you didn't believe me and you wanted to do some manipulation, get some practice in there. So what would the common denominator be for 2 and 4? It's going to be 4. So I need to manipulate this fraction to get it to 4. I'm focusing on 1/2. I need to manipulate it to get it to 4. And that's pretty easy. 2 times 2 equals 4. So now 1/4 plus 2/4 equals 3/4. See, you should know I'm not going to lie to you. So 3/4. So far, Samuel has completed 5 hours and 3/4, 5 and 3/4 hours. How much more does he need to complete? So we are going to do 8 minus 5 and 3/4. I'm going to manipulate this 8 to make it a mixed number. So 7 and 4/4. So that's the same as 7 and 1 because 4/4 is 1 whole, which equals 8. I'm just manipulating the way I see it so that I can play around and subtract. So minus 5 and 3/4. So let's focus on the whole numbers. 7 minus 5 equals 2. Now we're going to be doing 4/4 minus 3/4 equals 1/4. So he needs to do 2 hours or 2 1/4 hours remaining. And if you don't believe me, let's add up all the hours that he worked. So he first did 2 1/4, then he did 3.5, and then our answer was 2 1/4. So let's add the whole numbers first. 2 plus 3 plus 2 equals 7. 1/4 plus 1/2 plus 1/4. So if I had a pie, it was cut into 4 pieces. 1/4, you told me a half, and another 1/4. That's 1 whole. 7 plus 1 equals 8. And remember, that was the goal. He had to reach 8. Okay. Part B. If Samuel completes more than 8 hours of chores a week, he earns $4 an hour. More than 8 hours, $4 an hour. On Friday, Samuel completed an additional 3.5 hours of chores. How much more money would Samuel earn this week if he completes no more chores? So he reached 8, and then he did 3.5 hours more of chores. So that's going to be 11.5 hours. And he earns $4 an hour. So we are going to multiply 11 times 44. 11.5 times 4. So we're going to focus on 11 times 4 and then 1/2 times $4. So 11 times 4 equals $44. And then 1/2 times 4, so 1/2 times 4 over 1 equals 4 over 2. Simplified, 2 can go into 4 2 times. So 44 plus 2 equals $46. Hey, Samuel is banking. That's not bad. So if there are 52 weeks in a year times $46, how much does Samuel make in a year? I'm gonna see really quick. Sorry, I'm nosy. Wonder if Samuel's doing a tax return. Okay, what? This kid is making $2,442 a year? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Is that realistic? I don't know. Ask your parents if they'd be down to pay you $46 a week. All right, problem 5. This problem is amazing because it has adding, it has subtracting, it has division, it has it all. I love this problem. So Carson has 2 cans of paint, red paint. The first can contains 3 1/4 pints of red paint, and the second can contains 6.5 pints of red paint. If Carson wants both cans to contain the same amount of paint, how many pints of paint must be poured from the second can to the first can? So he wants both cans to have the same amount because right now one has 6 1/2 and the other one has 3 1/4. So he wants to just, pour some from the 6.5 to make them even. He wants them to have the same amount. He wants them to have an average. So we need to find the average between 6.5 and 3 1/4. To find the average, we are going to add 6.5 plus 3 1/4 and find the total amount of paint. Then we are going to divide it by the number of cans. So 6.5 plus 1/4. Let's focus on the whole numbers first. 6 plus 3 equals 9. Now we're going to focus on the fractions. 1/2 plus 1/4. I need to manipulate that to get the common denominator. And we already know that it's going to be 4. Because we did a problem just like this. So to manipulate 1/2, we're going to multiply it by 2, and what do we get? 2 over 4 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. So the total amount of paint is 9 3/4 pints, and the number of cans is 2. There are 2 cans. So I need to divide 9 3/4 by 2. Well, I'm going to be honest. This would be a much easier thing to do if it was an improper fraction. So let's turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. I'm going to zoom in here. 9 3/4. We're going to turn it into an improper fraction. So the denominator times the whole number. 4 times 9 equals 36. Then we're going to add the numerator. Plus 3 equals 39 and put it over the denominator, over 4. So we're doing 39 over 4 divided by 2. And you know that there's always a 1 underneath that. So when we divide by fractions, we're going to rewrite it. And we are going to multiply by the reciprocal. So 39 over 4 times 1 over 2. That is the reciprocal. The reciprocal is when you flip a fraction. So the reciprocal of 2 is 1 over 2. And the reciprocal of 1 over 2 is 2 over 1. You flip it. I'm going to be tagging or adding a link to a video that goes over what reciprocals are and how to divide fractions if this is still confusing and if you don't remember from 4th grade. But when we divide fractions, we are just going to flip it and then multiply it. So we started off with 2 over 1, but then we flipped it, and now we're multiplying by 1 over 2. So 39 multiplied by 1 is 39, and 4 multiplied by 2 equals 8. So now we have 39 over 8. And how many times does 8 go into 39? I'm going to rewrite this so I have room to work. 1 over 2 equals 39 over 8 equals. So 8 can go into 39 4 times because 8 times 4 equals 32. 39 minus 32 equals 7 over 8. So let me show y'all how I did that. I just did 39 divided by 8. How many times does 8 go into 39? 4 times. 4 times 8 equals 32. I'm going to subtract that, and I'm left with 7. 7 is my remainder. So 7 over 8. That is how I got 4 and 7 over 8. I turned an improper fraction into a mixed number. So that is the average. 4 and 7 over 8 is the average. That is how much needs to be in each can. Because remember, he wants to pour a little bit from the 6.5 into the 3 1/4 can to make them even. So that is how much needs to be in each can. So we are going to subtract 6 1/2. 6 1/2 minus 4 and 7 over 8. And that is going to tell us how much he took from this can and put into the 3 1/4 can. That is going to tell us the difference between the 6 1/2 from the average. How much paint did he pour from this can into that can to make them even, to make them both have the average? So let's focus on the whole numbers first. 6 minus 4 equals 2. And now I'm going to do 1/2 minus 7 over 8. And I'm going to manipulate to get a common denominator. The common denominator is going to be 8 because 2 can go into 8. So I'm going to multiply by 4. 4 over 8 minus 7 over 8. And that's going to give me negative 3 over 8. So I'm going to go back to the whole number. We're doing 2 minus 3 over 8. And we're going to do some manipulation. So that 2 is now going to become 1 and 8 over 8, which is the same as 1 whole and 1. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. Give me some Beyonce. 1 plus 1 equals 2. You can buy my Christmas album. Just kidding, just kidding. Okay, so 1 and 8 over 8 minus 3 over 8 equals 1 and 5 over 8. So Carson is going to pour 1 and 5/8 pints into this can so that they both have 4 and 7/8. But I want to check my work. So 3 and 1/4 plus 1 and 5/8. Let's do that. So I'm going to do the whole numbers first. 3 plus 1 equals 4. Now I'm going to do 1/4 plus 5 over 8. The common denominator is going to be 8. So I am going to manipulate 1/4, multiply that by 2 to get it to the common denominator. I get 2 over 8 plus 5 over 8. And I get 7 over 8. So we get 4 and 7 over 8. Does that match the average? And it does. It matches the average. So our calculation was correct. 1 and 5/8 pints are going to be added to reach the average. All right, scholars. Good job, good job. That was a great. I say we go and do one more for fun. 22 and 1/12 minus 8 and 2/3. So let's focus on the whole numbers. So 22 minus 8 equals 14. And now we're going to do 1/12 minus 2/3. The common denominator is going to be 12. So how do I manipulate 2/3 to get it to that common denominator? Well, 3 times 4 equals 12. So 1/12 minus 8 over 12 equals -7 over 12. So I'm going to come back here and do 14 minus 7 over 12. I'm going to manipulate that 14. Make it 13 and 12 over 12 minus 7 over 12 equals 13 and 5 over 12. Please look down in the comments section and you are going to see videos that like links to videos to show you if you have any questions or misunderstandings or need help in any other areas. Great job today and good luck on your homework, y'all.